Nearly 3 years after the first LEGO Horizon set was released, we have a new entry based on the hugely popular franchise. The Aloy and Varl vs Shellwalker and Sawtooth set may not sound the most exciting of sets, but thankfully the end result should please most fans of LEGO and Horizon. It's brilliant to see a set based off a popular license at such great value. You're getting 768 pieces for the retail price of £40 or $45, which is pretty much unheard of these days. Most of these pieces go towards the main builds, the crab-like Shellwalker and the fierce-looking Sawtooth, while the remaining pieces help make the campfire and this patch of vegetation. I would go as far as saying both minifigures included are of top-tier quality, with detailed printing featured on the legs, torso and arms. Taking a closer look at Aloy, you can get a better look at the detail on her outfit as well as the printing on the back. Her character is captured really well with this dual printed headpiece, which also features her focus on both sides. As you can see, the focus lines up really well with this hairpiece and looks perfect for her red, wild, flowing hair. There's also this new bow piece for her to use, which can be customised with these extra pieces to represent different attacks such as chill, fire and shock. As for Varl, he also features detailed printing all over, and although he has his cape, you'll find more printing on his back. The blue face paint really pops off from his head and is featured on both prints, while his new moulded hairpiece is a perfect fit for his character. Just like Aloy and her customisable bow, Varl's spear can also be customised with these mini builds for chill, fire and shock attacks. The two side builds add a little extra detail to the set, with the vegetation making a good hiding spot for a stealthy attack or good place to display the minifigures. While the campsite is a simple yet effective build using just a few pieces. You'll also find a chest with some items and valuables inside, although it is a bit awkward to sit both minifigures around the campfire. On to the main builds, and we'll start off with the Shellwalker. It's a good sized build and scales reasonably well with the minifigures. The 6 legs were a bit repetitive to build, but are able to support its weight without the need of any extra stands. Each leg is also able to move sideways as well as in and out, while the same can be said for the arms, with plenty of articulation as well as the ability to rotate each claw. All these moving parts allow for some good options when it comes to play or display. The face looks good and the roller skate piece works really well as a mouth, although it would have been nice to have extra studs included to swap the eyes to yellow or red, as seen in the games when a machine becomes curious or alerted to your presence. The 2 swords beside the head look great as antennas, and behind we have the cargo pod, which can be removed. The pod has a really clever hexagonal design to it, and although it doesn't open or hold any cargo, the complex building techniques compensate for this minor flaw. I do however like this detachable shield made of blue transparent road signs attached to a snowflake piece, which when removed can be used by Aloy or Varl, providing them with some extra equipment to defend themselves with. The Sawtooth is an equally impressive build, and just like the Shellwalker, also scales really well with the minifigures. Its 4 legs comfortably support its weight and offer a good amount of movement, as well as having more moving joints further down the legs with ball joints at each foot. Each of these feet have 3 claws, which can also be positioned whichever way you like. Thanks to these moving parts, you're able to pose your model in a handful of different ways. The main body is quite solid but looks great in its white colour scheme, while some tiles and slopes help to add some nice pops of colour throughout. The rear can be moved left to right, while the neck can spin all the way around. And another ball joint at the head gives the same motion, while the jaw can also be lowered and closed. These binoculars look great as the eyes, but feel a bit lifeless without any colour. They even show red highlights on the box. The yellow spears and spikes on the back offer a bit more freedom when it comes to display, and behind these you'll find a small cargo module which can also be removed but isn't big enough to store anything. As we come to the end, let's take a look at the pros. Price to piece value is great, especially for a licensed theme. I'm sure some people would complain about only getting 2 minifigures in a set that costs £40 or $45, but as previously mentioned, these are exactly what I look for when it comes to a minifigure. 2 substantial quality builds that offer plenty of playability and options for display, making it a great set for kids and adults alike. And finally, the cons. I'm really nitpicking here, but the lifeless look of the Sawtooth is such a shame, and the option to swap out the eyes for different colours feels like a missed opportunity. I also think including a couple of these clear pieces would have been great for a few more ways to play and display these sets, but that might just be me. Overall, I really can't fault this set, and I really hope it sells well so we can see the LEGO Horizon theme grow over the next few years. I'd happily give this set a 9 out of 10. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you haven't, then make sure to subscribe to keep up with future content. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.